Can we start?
Yes, please.
All right, all right. So here we go. I welcome you, everyone. Today we have a very interesting session. That is the Investment Opportunity Report by ARK Invest. So basically, we will start with what basically is ARK Invest and how it's going to affect the future of investment in any organization. So basically, we start with invest today in the big ideas of tomorrow, right? That is the theme of ARK. Where ARK is an investment management company which focus on innovation, which focus on research-driven approach. So, what is the objective of ARK? It identifies and invests in technologies and that and particularly those technologies, they are basically transforming industries and shaping the future of industries and businesses. So basically, RK built a track record of uncovering high growth opportunities in the ever evolving innovation landscape. So basically, whatever the happening in today's industry in terms of innovation, in terms of technological advancements and transformation, basically. So ARK is basically an investment management firm that focus on these investment opportunities and guide you for these investment things. So that's why we start with invest today in the big ideas of tomorrow. Before we start with how ARK Invest is affecting and doing all these things, but we need to keep in mind few things that there is always a risk of investing in innovations. Whenever we are dealing and we are moving from in very innovative sort of industries or investment in innovations, so there is a different risk that is associated and attached with these innovation or with these disruptive innovations, right? That you are thinking differently and you are moving into a new direction. So there is always a rapid pace of change in terms of technology and so on, and exposure across sectors. There is certain uncertainties and unknown future that is evolved with these innovations. There are always some regulatory hurdles and barriers. There are few political or legal pressures, and there is always a competitive landscape. So these are the few, we can say, the major risks that is associated with whenever we are investing in innovations. So we need to keep in mind these things. And on the basis of these risk assessments, ARK is basically designing the investment opportunities and dealing with all these industries and managing all these uncertainties within the technological advancement. Now, basically, whenever we are talking about these innovations, technological advancements, so there are few investment themes that are emerging over the period of time due to the complex technological advancement. And so what ARK is doing, that is converting these actionable insights across five investment themes. So these are the few, one of the most important areas where ARK investment is working on: the next generation internet, genomics revolution, autonomous technology and robotics, the space exploration and defense, and digital assets and fintech innovation. So these are the five key areas, the themes that with they're obviously they are linked with, are associated with these sort of innovations in terms of industries, in terms of how businesses are evolving over the period of time, and how ARK is basically dealing with these innovations into and converting them into an investment ideas and providing investment opportunity. We will discuss each and everything, what is basically that investment theme, and how the technological advancements and the change and the shift and what does the disruption are managing in that context, and how investment themes are merged into investment by ARK. So this is a very brief idea that how historically the innovations are transforming and what is the present opportunity for us. If we can see this uh, diagram, we can come up with that in early 70s and 80s and in early 70s 1700th century there was steam engines. Then that was shifted in early 80s around 1840 till 1860. That is the transformation in terms of technological, like the railroads are there, the telegraph, the photography and bicycles, they were merged over the period of time. Then the era of late 80s and early 90s, that is the era from 1890 and so on, we can see the internal combustion engines, that electricity, telephones, radios, ICs, and refrigeration. So they were emerged over the period of time. And then the era of integrated circuits, which is basically the mid of 19s, where nuclear power and concentration has evolved over the period of time. The automobile industry, the assembly lines, the televisions, the jet engines, they were emerged. So this is how innovation is taking place, and we can see a new shift in the technology. And then late 19s, we can see the PCs, biotechs, and fiber optics is emerging over the period of time. And then the era of early 2000, 20th century, we have the internet, we have cell phones, now we have GPS, the web, e-commerce, renewables, energies, and sort of these things. But what is happening after, like you can see 2020 to the next 2025, that is the future, and 2030, the next 10 or 20 years, we are now seeing the most innovation in terms of these industries, and how technological advancement has replaced all these steam engines and railroads and electricity and PCs, and they are now converting into 3D printing, the reusable rockets, adaptive robots, advanced batteries, autonomous mobility, and cloud computing. We can see multi-monic technologies and therapies. There are some programmable biology, the digital wallets, smart contracts, cryptocurrencies that are the more advanced and upcoming future. So this is the how historically from 17, starting from 17th century to 21st century, that is how the innovation has evolved over the period of time, and that is how the technological advancement and shift has been taking place, right? So now we are discussing the few the investment themes, that what are the different investment theme. The first investment theme that is emerging from this scenario is the next generation internet. The next generation internet is basically the use of artificial intelligence. It is not just a technological advancement, it is basically a foundational shift in the industries and in across the different sectors, right? So it's not like that is how a technological advancement is taking place, but that is the whole foundation is shifted, and the industry have reshaped, and the global economy has been reshaped due to these very the technological advancements, and particularly artificial intelligence. We can see that the potentially it is exceeding 100 billion with the next 3 years. That is how invest companies are investing in these AI based technologies, and that foundational shift. So 100 billion dollars are expected in next year that companies are investing on these AI tools. And we can see the big six firms like the Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, they all have denominated early AI adoption through data centers and investments. So basically, what is the strategy and what ARK is basically doing? We believe investors need to position for the next wave of AI-driven disruptions. And the pace of transportation is accelerating. So that's why ARK's next generation internet strategy, we are seeking to capture its full potential. So this is how the next generation internet is shifting, and how ARK is coming up with these investment strategies. This is how AI have emerged over the period of time, or the next generation internet. We can see from this thing the neural networks that have a majority of the segment we have. We have digital wallets, we have precision therapies in terms of medical advancement. We have multi-nomic technologies, we have reusable rockets, we have humanoid robots, we have distributed energy generations, and a lot of other things, smart contracts and cryptocurrencies. So we can see intelligent devices are there, 3D printing is there, next generation cloud. So neural networks are basically the core of the main thing that is converging the acceleration of the technological revolution. So that shows that technology have evolved over the period of time, and we can see these are the few important areas where few things are taking place and technology have emerged over the period of time. This is how the software value chain has reshaped via the use of AI. We can see, if you can see clearly, that how infrastructure layers, platform layers, and application layers. So we can see the application layer from 19 to 2024, that was 15% in green. You can see this, and it is expected in 2030. Over there, we can see that it is has jumped to 28.7%, which is almost a 100% increase in terms of how enterprise softwares are staking and taking an evaluation. And similarly, we can see that how the coding system have emerged over the period of time, and most recently from cloud to Jenny and to ChatGPT 4 and OpenAI. So we can see a huge number of score have verified that a lot of people, a lot of industries are using these AI in terms of their as a tool of value chain. That shows that AI is basically reshaping the whole industries. These are the potential disruptors and disrupted. We have different organizations that they have adopted these things. The digital wallets, Robinhood, the one of the company that is dealing with these digital wallets all around the world, and that is how financial have been changed. Our financial sector have totally moved from to digital wallets, and we can see the example of Robinhood, which is basically termed as Hood. And then intelligent devices, the Roku organization, the next organization that deals in communication services, have merged over the period of time, and now there are very few pay TV providers are there. So that is how the communication services has changed via these different organizations. Similarly, the healthcare industry, AI and multinomics, that is RxRx organization, that this company has utilized artificial intelligence to help discover new treatments for diseases. This is how the healthcare industry have merged over the period of time. And then the information technology itself, the artificial intelligence planters, PLTRs, again an organization which provide data and application that empowers businesses, government, organization, and the military to derive insights from the decision making from the data and to make a basics of complex data. So this is how information technology, and then the autonomous technology which is used by Tesla, that is how EVs, electronic vehicles, are now emerging over the period of time. And Tesla is basically the main disruptors in that sector. You can see these are all S&P 500 sectors, and almost in all the sectors AI have evolved over the period of time. These are the different strategies that is seeking to capture the next generation investment opportunity. What ARK is basically doing in terms of to tackle with these internet, next generation internet, it is purely play explorer to the next generation internet themes. There are different funds, ARKKF, that is FinTech Innovation, ETFs, then ARKNVX, that is again in venture funds, and ARKK, which is an innovation funds. These are the different firms. They have different subset of next generation internet themes, disruptive innovation exposures, and then the broad disruptive innovation exposures, including the next generation internet. So these are the different firms that how these organization, that is ARK, is basically investing in new generation internet firms. So there are new funds that are available for the investment. The second, the theme that have emerged over the period of time, that is autonomous technology and robotics. Now, these autonomous technology and robotics are very revolutionary type of industries and creating investment opportunities, and it should not, we cannot ignore this thing. So basically, what is basically the purpose of autonomous technology and robotics? It is disrupting traditional transportation system. It is leveraging the AI-driven solution to boost efficiency and cut cost across logistic, personal vehicles, and industry applications. SMRs, that small modular reactors, the new technological advancement have played a key role in terms of these technological advancements. So, what is the strategy? With declining cost curves, with rapid adoption, with increasing market demand, the technologies are set to reshape industrial energy and labor market. So this is how the transformation is starting now. And ARK's autonomous technology and robotic strategy is to seek to capture its full potential. So there are, again, we will talk about, there are different funds which are available, and how ARK investment is basically tackling these technological advancements and robotics. This is, we can see that after more than a decade, most automakers have dropped out of the autonomy race, and Tesla and Waymo remain there. And we can see the launch of which Tesla is basically planning to launch 2000 in 2025, the EVs, electrical vehicles. They have Waymo in 2018. They have come up with this, but it is launched in 2018. But still, like you can see from 2013-20, there was nothing. But over the period of time, within the range of 2020 and so on, from 18 till 2030, we can see the lot of organizations are now moving to these autonomy race, and they are coming up with EVs, electronic vehicles. Now, what is basically is happening is Tesla's cost per mile is lower than Waymo because of these technological, we can say the cybercab robotaxi services. We can see like here that it has cut the cost over the period of time via robot taxi incremental cost per mile, and we can see a clear that is cybercab over there, where we can see at the scale. We can see that it has the all the cost in terms of depreciation, in terms of energy, in terms of taxes, in terms of operational support, in terms of maintenance of tires, insurance, and parking. It has reduced up to a significant level. We can see that there is 30 to 40% lower than Waymo's electric vehicle. So that shows that this is how, and vehicle per 500 billion in capex, you can see the number of vehicles we can now produce more in terms of by using these automated technologies and robotics. Again and again, another thing that is, we can, if we can compare the wind with solar and percentage of total generation, that how the renewables have emerged over the period of time, and how the nuclear and other renewables have can serve as a viable solution, or we can say that is a replacement of, you see, the wind, it was in 2009 a very low level of in terms of their production, and now we can see this solar has emerged over the period of time. We can see a clear increasing trend, and that is up to now 16%. And here as well, from 2018 there was very non-Tesla was very low, and Tesla energy storage, and we can see that his again there was an increasing trend in terms of these renewable solutions. And then obviously the adoption of humanoid robotics should increase at their cost fall and their productivity increase. We can see not worth investing in AI robotics and worth investing in humanoid robots. We can see there is a clear productivity uplift in terms of 200%. We can see a major shift that how the transformation has taken place over the period of time, and how humanoid robots have come up with as a tool of cost deduction and increasing the productivity. So again, these are the few graphs which show that we see that the value of unpaid time spent waiting dishes at home. This is how the jobs have bundle of tasks. The jobs have emerged over the period of time. You see, dishwashing machine was $8, then 14, and the value of unpaid time spent for washing dishes is $246. So how it can be reduced via the use of robotics? We can see, you see, in the impact of daily life of these robotics is basically uh, robot taxi are already on the roads today. They're transporting passengers and poised for rapid expansion. And AI driven automation is reshaping the industry like manufacturing, the agriculture, the healthcare, and enabling and very efficiency at a scale. These are the potential disruptors and disrupted. The energy storage BYD Auto, that is BYDD, that is again is leading electric vehicle EV and battery manufacturer company. So this is how in terms of energy, the new organization are coming and playing their role. Then robotics, trading, TER, which is industrial, again, they are providing the semiconductor test equipments and industrial robots. And then the autonomous technology, Tesla, that is, Tesla is designing and manufacturing electric vehicles, EVs, and associated artificial intelligence based autonomous capabilities. So again, in terms of consumer, in terms of industry, in terms of energy, though these are the future organization, they are playing their role, and that is how industry is reshaping with these technological advancements. And in order to cover these investment opportunities, ARK is basically seeking strategies that capture the autonomous technologies and robotics opportunity. We have in ARK we have different funds particularly for this. That is ARK Next Generation Internet, ARK Space Exploration and Innovation Funds, ARK Venture Funds, and ARK Innovation. So these are the different disruptive and autonomous and robotics themes on which the investment company, which is ARK, is basically investing. So there are different funds which are available, and ultimately these are the funds are again used as an investment theme, or invested in these different things. Now, moving forward, we have the next theme, that is digital assets and fintech innovation. Now, digital assets are transforming financial markets. We all know these things. We have come across that how the decentralized transaction has been now taking place, and that is bypassing the traditional banking infrastructure. It built on cryptographic securities and blockchain networks. It facilitated the transparent, verifiable, and globally 24/7 settlement times in terms of particularly the cryptocurrencies. So the cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ether, and Solana are leading the charge, serving as a potential store of value and foundation for decentralized applications. What basically is the strategy? As blockchain technology is continuously going to mature, the digital assets have the potential to revolutionize the commerce, investment, and financial infrastructure. We believe the time to capitalize on this revolution is now. So, what ARK is doing basically, ARK is digital assets and fintech innovation strategies. They seek to capture the full potential of this transformative shift in terms of cryptos and decentralized transactions. This is how the spot Bitcoin ETF complex has been changing and there is a rapid change in terms of, historically we can see the Bitcoin annual volatility has fell to a different time low. We can see it was previously, we can see that there was 200% and more than 200% Bitcoin volatility. Now with the ETFs that is have attracted the 4 billion of inflows, right? And 6,000 ETFs have been launched over the past 30 years. So what is basically the how the this market is basically changing? It is basically there is a certain reduce in terms of volatility. We can see from this graph it was 200%, the volatility annualized percent rolling, and then in 2024 or in upcoming year we can see it has reduced to 50%. So there is a huge decrease in terms of volatility of these bitcoins. So this is how the ETF complex has been launched, and it has and traditionally reduced the volatility of this market. And one of the fastest growing segment in digital asset is basically stable coins. Now the stable coins that have overlooked the MasterCards, we can see the different payment methods we are available with us. We have transaction values and different in combination of in comparison of that how the Visa, the MasterCard, the American Express in stable coins has been have a certain value in terms of $1 trillion. We can see in 2019 the stable coin is very minimal, like less than $2 trillion, or almost like the just it is the start of stable coin. And we can see the Visa at that time, which was above $8 trillion market, was captured by Visa, and a few with MasterCard, like the $4 trillion. Over the period of time, if we can see the picture of 2024, that is totally changed. Now the highest portion of transaction, which is almost 15 trillion dollars, this $15 trillion industry is basically based on stable coin. This is how transaction have emerged over the period of time and shifted to a very new sort of you can say a new shift in terms of digitalization in cryptocurrencies. American Express, it has reduced over the period of time. The Visa is not, although that is in there is an increasing trend, but if we compare the all the traditional methods, the Visa, the MasterCard, the American Express, and then we if we compare with stable coins, obviously we can see a huge shift in terms of like $1 trillion to now the leading in terms of international transaction, that is now $15 trillion in 2024. And we again we can see the digital assets market capitalization in terms of this in this graph. We can, if we can follow that red line, so we can see obviously there is a stable coin transaction have increased over the period of time since January 2020 till 2024. There is a rapid increase. There is a like in $1 trillion, from million to $1 trillion, it has increased over the period of time. And digital asset market capitalization have emerged over the period of time. We can see there is an increasing trend. If we can follow that red line, we can see okay, like there is an upward trend. So this is how the all the fastest growing segments have digitalized and how it has shifted the transaction system. Furthermore, we can see the financial performance that has been stunning, both absolutely and relatively, comparing the Tatler versus the leading financial firms of S&Ps in terms of net income and in terms of income per employees. So there is an obviously a huge increase by per employees, and on the basis of other the major S&P financial sector organizations. This is how the fees have been generated and how the adoption of retail adoption has gained shared based on the several matrices. We can see the different Solana, the Bitcoins, Ethereum, and L2, the different Bitcoins, and we can see There is an obviously the fee generated. So market shows that is an upward and increasing trend in terms of how the total value locked has emerged over the period of time. It has obviously impacted on daily life. Institutional adoption of Bitcoin technology and blockchain technology is very accelerating these days. They have reshaped the financial system, and they have enabled the new investment models, right? The DeFis and DeFi platforms, decentralized financial institutions, they have merged over the period of time. And in 2024, stable coins processed 15.6 trillion, both Visa and MasterCard in total transaction value. We have already discussed in the graph that how the stable coin is basically reshaping the financial industry. These are the potential disruptors and distributors. Digital assets, which is ARK 21st share Bitcoin ETF ARKB. ARK has the belief that the Bitcoin will transform the how people use money, and it can be used as a store of value, obviously from the traditional money to a centralized DeFis, or in terms of ETFs, or in terms of cryptocurrencies and digital wallets. Obviously, the Robinhood wallet we have already talked about in next generation internet, that these wallets are now taking place to buy and sell securities, stocks, bonds, options, digital assets, cryptos. So now we are having each and everything in terms of our digital assets. So that is how financial have emerged in terms of digital assets, in terms of digital wallets, in terms of digital assets, coin based. And the Coinbase, the picks and shovels play the digital assets revolution, right? So this is how again S&P 500 sectors, and particularly the financial sector, is basically evolving over the period of time. The strategies that the seeking to capture the digital assets and fintech innovation opportunity for. So in ARK we have ARK KW, which is basically the next generation internet ETF targeted to explore for the exposure to be subset of the digital assets and fintech innovation themes, right? All the innovation and fintech innovation themes. So we have ARKW fund, which is particularly used in the investment of the in the investment of these different type of whatever you can say the investment themes, and suit for sub-advised digital assets as well. So for each investment themes, there are different firms, there are different exchange traded firms. ETFs are basically exchange traded funds, right? So they are exchange traded as well on secondary market. And the next theme is genomic revolution. The genomic revolution is basically within the healthcare, it have emerged the whole the revolution, right? We had a very sick care system before in terms of treatment, in terms of identification of diseases, and so on. So now it has, rather than preventing in first place, it has started at treating that system, right? But a revolution is underway. Obviously, that is the shifting the focus from reactive treatment to a very proactive prevention and personalized care system. This is how genomic revolution have been taking place in that health industry. So we have new applications in terms of diagnostics to AI driven drug discovery and therapies, and we are reshaping how we approach to disease and disease management. This is basically the phenomena of genomic revolution. And obviously there is a strategy that technological flywheel driving the future of medicine industry, the healthcare industry, the healthcare system, from data generation to diagnostics and drug development for the to curb the different diseases. So in ARK, we believe the time to capitalize on this revolution is now, and genomic revolution strategy seeks to capture the full potential of the transformative shift in terms of healthcare industry. This is how the multimonics performances, different tools like Twist Biosciences, Tempex AI, Genomics, Illumina. These are the mix of different tools, right? And AI developed drugs like Rescussion, pharmaceutical, and other labs. They run experiments. There is a certain way that how this AI have artificial intelligence have changed the landscape of healthcare industry and drug development and testing and experiments. Obviously, there is a cost cost of DNA sequencing and synthesizing that is falling over the period of time. We can see actual projected and mode law projections. We can see there is increasing decreasing trends in terms of all the cost per whole human genome, and in terms of cost one basis point pairs. So there is a decreasing trend. If you can see the line that is actual and projected, so we can see the actual and projection. So there is a huge declining trend in terms of DNA sequencing. The cost reduction is basically. So AI driven drug development is taking place for diseases for could reserve a multinomic decade in pharmaceutical and biotechnology return. You can see that cure based, which is AI speed up, AI success rate has increased to 47% over the period of time than the traditional drug testing and rate. So the rate of success, the failure rate, which was like 14%, or that was like a very low rate, the success has increased over the period of time. So other technologies impact the drug development, and the pipeline industry, the wide return should turn around. So this is how the AI is basically the reshaping the success of these testing, and how the success rate has been turned around in pharmaceutical and biotechnological industry, and is now 47%. Obviously, it have impacted the lives and the daily lives. The human generous has dropped from 180 days to 2001 to under 10 minutes today in convergence of AI and genomics. So there are a few changes that have been taking place on daily life, and these are the potential disruptor and disrupted. The multinomic therapies, the therapies like they have developed over the period of time is Cas9 based gene editing treatments for serious diseases, including the different world's first genome editing therapies and so on. Then multinomics, Tempus AI, that is TEM. Tempus AI is a precision medicine company leveraging artificial intelligence to analyze multimodal healthcare data and improve patient outcome. So this is how they have emerged in terms of healthcare. You see, we for the each sector we have industry, AI, healthcare, energy, financials, telecommunication, consumers, material, real estate, information technology, all the potential industries and sectors. So there is a certain shift in terms of these technological advancements. And then uh, pharmaceutical multinomics, pharmaceutical RX is again is a drug discovery company that utilizes artificial intelligence to help discover new treatment for diseases, right? And ARK research suggests that companies like these take advantage of cutting edge technology with realized materiality, high returns to investment. So basically, ARK is looking these how ARK is basically looking these organization as a potential area of investment. That these are the organization, that these are the sectors, or these are the certain sector they have emerged over the period of time, increasing trend, and there are investment opportunities. And if ARK can manage to invest, and if you can manage to invest in these sectors, in these organization, obviously you will enjoy a high returns on your investments. So again, there are strategies that are seeking to capture the genomic revolution and opportunity. The ETF, the innovation ETF, and venture funds, particularly for genomic revolution, like industries across public and private markets, and particularly in biotechnology and in pharmaceutical organizations. And lastly, the space exploration and defense. Again, there is a convergence of aerospace innovation, satellite technology, and defense system has totally changed. We have seen these days the drive and technological advancement and economic growth. Obviously, they play a key role in terms of technological advancement and economic growth. So the growth in this sector is significant. It is reducing in launch cost thanks to reusable rockets technology, which is pioneered by companies like SpaceX. They have come up with reusable rockets, right? So, but basically has shifted in terms of aerospace innovation and satellite technology and defense system. It has reduced the launch cost, right? And this has uh, over the period of time the strategy is basically, as the technological continues to evolve, we expect them to create new market and disrupt traditional industries. So there is always an opportunity to invest, and offering compelling opportunities for investor to seek to capitalize in the next frontier of technological advancements. So, what ARK believes, the time to capitalize on this revolution is now. The space exploration and defense strategy, and to seek to capture to its full potential. This is how the SpaceX, which is the leading company in terms of space innovation, satellite technology, and defense system, right? And they have the basically the innovate pioneered in terms of reusable rockets. The rockets turnaround time, we can see that the first SpaceX turnaround time 356 to 2024, which we can see it has reduced to only 14. That is SpaceX 2024 fastest turnaround time period, from 356 time to 14 times, right? That is the days between reuse. So from 360, which is almost a year, to a 2 week time, right? Fortnightly, from year to fortnightly. So that is a huge shift, you can say, in terms of space technology. When the space shuttle cost 1.5 billion per launch, right? It was 1.5 billion per launch. And now the SpaceX has flipped the script. And according to ARK's research, the first stage of the Falcon 9 cost is less than 1 million. So cost of $1.5 billion to less than 1 million, that shows there is a significant reduction in terms of how SpaceX is managing its space technology and rockets. The new rockets turnaround time should be proportional to the cost of required to refurbish a rocket booster, right? And the key metric six in the tracking launch cost has declined over the period of time. You can see the Falcon 9 average reuse days from 200, more than 200, to now it's almost 50 days, right? So these are the revolution in terms of rocket sciences, in terms of space technology. And then the LEO and GEO in terms of GEO satellite, and in terms of low cost Earth orbit and LEO technology based. It was, you can see the LEO 300 miles to 40 latency to 22,000 miles and to 700, and will fall back to Earth within 1000 plus years. You can see how this have emerged over a period of time, and rebirths will fall back to the Earth within 5 years. From a 5 year time to 1000 plus years. So that shows a very huge shift in terms of the technological advancements. So basically, if we can see the US need lower cost AI powered aircrafts, what is the reason? If we can see the US F-16, that is 30 to 60 million dollars. Then the Chinese DJI, which is 2,000 to $20,000, and the Red Sea, which is SM-2 missile, 2 million, and Iranian 136, 20,000. So I will just I have the few uh, statements. If we are shooting down a $50,000 one-way drone with a 3 million missile, that not a good cost equation. So there should be new technology. There should be a leverage platform that are small, smart, cheap, and many. Right. This is the Deputy Secretary of Defense statement that it is not feasible to shoot down a $50,000 one-way drone with a 3 million missile. So there should be a technological shift in terms of how we can have a space war, basically, in terms of warfares. The current state has been changing. And smaller and cheaper AI controlled unmanned jets are the way ahead. So this is the how satellite, how space technology, how war for fares have changed over the period of time. And then we need them potentially at very large scale and very quickly in terms of manned fighters jets are obsolete in age of drones. So this is how the drone technology have merged over the period of time, and they have changed the whole which is basically the AI based, improving decision making and efficiency, and it is reducing the need for human troops. So this is how the technological space exploration and defense have emerged over the period of time. Obviously, there is so these are the potential disruptors and disruptors. The aerospace technology, Archer Aviation, ACHR. Archer is an aerospace company which is aiming at revolutionizing the mobility with the electric vertical takeoffs and landings, right? So, totally a shift in terms of industry, in terms of communication services, the space exploration rocket labs, which is RKLB. Rocket Lab provides satellite services and manufactures rockets used for small satellites. Right. Again, an organization, again, a company that is investing huge in terms of these potentially the new technology in terms of space, aerospace technology, and space exploration. And then the satellite technology, Iridium communication, IRDM. Iridium provides mobile voice and data communication services through the low Earth orbiting satellites, right? These companies are basically all the different serving in different communication in terms of industry, in terms of aerospace advancements. So what is the strategies? We are seeking to capture the space exploration and defense opportunities, ARK, exploration and innovation exchange traded funds. That is ARQK, which is basically autonomous technology and robotics ETFs, exchange traded funds, and which is targeted exposure to be the subset of the space exploration and defense themes. And then the venture funds, which is basically space exploration and defense across public and private markets. So that was the whole idea. Again, if I go back to my first slide, we have talked about the different changes in the market. So they were the investment themes, the complex technological advancements, right? And this company that this report, ARK investment report, they have distributed complex technological advancement into five segments and identified the five key investment themes and different type of investment firms, particularly for these next generation internet, for genomic tech renovation, for autonomous technology and robotics, for space exploration and defense, and for digital assets and fintech innovation. So for each sort of technological advancement, for each sector, for each investment themes, there are different ETFs, there are different firms, and there are different investment opportunities. What is the basic idea behind all this discussion and behind all this investment theme is basically they are the future of industries, and they are highly like over the period of time we have seen that there is a highly shift or increasing trend in terms of these industries. And if we can manage to invest in these funds, and if we can manage to invest in these investment themes, obviously we can enjoy a higher investment returns, right? And ARK believes that we have to use the full potential in terms of these different segments in order to capture the highest returns. So this is all about regarding today's investment opportunity report, which are uh, presented by ARK Invest in terms of different themes and innovations and so on. So we are done with today's session. If you have any question answer, we can uh, discuss in question answer session as well. Over to you. Can you hear me, Dr. Lambert?
Yes, we have a.
Yeah,
Ismail's going to start with a question.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good
So
afternoon.
now,
Go ahead, Ismail.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the
hello, good
presentation.
afternoon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the presentation, sir. Yeah, this is my question. What
Yes,
in
please.
Okay, sir. What innovations, for example, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and gamification could radically transform the accessibility and interactivity of future investment opportunity reports?
Okay. So we have seen that there are different themes that have emerged due to this technological advancement, right? And I basically the technological advancement is based on AI. We have to come up with this thing, and all the blockchain technology in terms of in terms of different industry we have seen. Okay, like in terms of healthcare, from we when I was talking about genomic and healthcare industry, we have merged from the drug testing system have emerged over the period of time, rather than we come up with a disease and then we go and have a healthcare system. We have a very proactive system now. The diseases are detected at early stage. The experimental process have emerged over the period of time. AI is basically have used, and that is basically more successful in terms of testing. We have seen the fail rate, which was 14%, to a success rate of 37%. So this is how the use of AI in terms of either in space technology, in terms of in terms of all the sectors, it has changed how the things are happening before to the new system, right? So it is have totally changed the innovations. Now we have seen that now the in terms of warfares, in terms of space technology, drones are there. no need of troops, no need of people sitting in and going and fighting in a jet, right? So drones are basically have changed. They are decision makers. They are going to the target. They are accurate. They are less costly. You can see. So this is the all the innovations and possible benefits. The less costly, success rate is high, targeted, and they are basically fulfilling, and the success rate is basically the maximum. This is how the AI revolution has, or the innovation have been shaped over the period of time.
Thank you, sir. I'm
Thank you.
grateful, sir.
Okay, I do not see any more questions. We do have a question. What is the importance of strategic investment?
Strategic investment. Okay. So whenever we are talking about strategic investment, this is basically we are investing not for a short term purpose, that we are investing for a long term, right? We are predicting the future. This investment report is not for like 2025 only. This investment report shows the future of industries in 2030, in next 10, 15, 20 years, how the industries will shift, how the technological advancement will take place, right? And strategic investment, we are investing today in order to forecast the next 10, 20, 15 years, right? So basically, this is how strategically we are moving, a long-term approach. And this investment report is basically clearly talks about the strategic investment, not focusing on the short term, not focusing on the current trends, but on future and upcoming changes, and in terms of upcoming shift in industry. That is strategic investment.
We do have a question now from Samuel. How much does it cost to invest in ARK Invest?
How much cost to invest in ARK invest? Okay, it's not like okay. One thing we need to make sure that it is not a cost. Basically, it is an investment. There are EFT funds. There are different funds. We can you can buy these funds basically, right? So for EFT, there is always a minimum investment. We can invest in these funds, EFTs funds. It's not like a huge investment which is required, right? It is just like a mutual fund, or we can, if you have a very small amount, you can invest in these funds. So obviously investment opportunities are always there, and that is not tradition for a huge investment, right? It is just uh, for making your small investments in these different funds. We have seen the different funds, and each and every fund is have a different, each and every fund has a different risk factor, different sector, different returns, and accordingly, their investment and their returns are different across the different themes.
Ismail, do you have another question?
Yes, sir. I have another question.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my question, sir. Yeah. In what ways can government strategically use investment opportunity reports to reposition their countries in the global economic hierarchy?
Okay, yeah, it's very nice. Actually, governments are key institutions, right? Whenever we are seeing technology have shifted, industry has shifted, government regulation and policies are basically the key in terms of to get the maximum benefit of these innovations. You got my point? That their policy making and their partnership with these organization, with the partnership of these the so-called the future of technology, if we can, if these organizations, the governments are basically coming up with policies, they are managing or they are investing a public-private partnership. So government have a very key role in terms of economic growth. If we can, we have seen that These are all the investment future opportunities. And if government have come up with different policies, they can maybe they can allow different, you can see the tax rebates and tax reliefs, and regulatory, in terms of regulation they can come up with a new regulation. So obviously government is a key stakeholder that can play a huge role in terms of getting the maximum benefit of these investment future opportunities, the key stakeholder. So via policy making, via regulation, via public-private investments, they can manage all these things.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
I do not see another question. Oh, wait, we do have a question that just came in. How does genomic revolution contribute to longevity?
Okay. This is whenever we were talking about the this is how the genomic have contribution. If you can see the whole, the experiments, the runtime, the generation of the data, the run test. Okay, so AI developed drugs and their curve system, their multinomics, they come up with a multi type of investigations and multi way of treatment, right? In terms of, you can see the healthcare, in terms of biotechnology, in terms of pharmacy, in terms of experimental, in terms of drug discovery. AI have 1,000 times more performed at same cost. This is what exactly have AI achieved over the period of time. From a traditional drug development, from a traditional approaches, to this diagnostic system and healthcare system. I repeat again, AI has 1,000 times more performant. Their success rate is 1,000 times more, and at same cost. That is the crux of that, how multinomics have emerged over the period of time.
This is a powerful tool, artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And so what does somebody have to do to get involved into this project?
Okay. So basically, you see, the key was they are the different investment themes. The ARK, they are basically as an investment company. They have different firms and they are investing in these technological advanced investment opportunities. So your question was that what one can do. Anyone who is interested that, okay, like the future of finance, the future of strategic finance, or the future of investment is basically relies on these three key areas, right? So obviously they are investing in ARK. ARK is basically an investment company which ultimately invest in these different sectors. So each and individual investor, each and individual person is basically getting the maximum benefit from these investments, since ARK is basically managing the whole funds for you.
Okay, we have another question. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest risk, noting the rapid shift in the world, will investing in ARK stand the test of time?
Okay, I'm not sure what exactly the purpose. You see, okay, one thing is for sure, we started with that highest risk is always there. But whenever we have risky investment opportunities, and the organization like ARK, which are experts in mitigating risk, they are managing risk as well. It's not like they're and investing in innovation is a high risky. Obviously, I agree, but the organization is managing this risk. And ultimately, what is the idea behind if you invest in a high risky ventures? Obviously, you will enjoy a high return. So there is always a trade-off between risk and return. The higher risk, the higher return. But as an investment management company, that management company is managing your risk as well. So you are enjoying a high return with a very managed risk. It's not like you are investing in risky and you can end up with nothing. No, the ARK is basically investing, is managing your high risk and giving you the best return. So this is how obviously highly risky, but managed risk, not like a risk that is going to affect you.
Let's go to Abdullah. Hopefully you can get your microphone working this time. And also, Steve asks in chat, what is the source of information AI produces?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Abdullah is going to be able to get his microphone working. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, so what are the sources of AI information?
So basically, AI uses the deep learning and machine learning tools and techniques, and more advanced sort of tools and techniques, which can be which can process the data just like a human data. We have a certain information. If I have a certain information, I use my brain, human sort of things, and then I come up with a conclusion. AI basically use artificial intelligence that use basically the deep learning enforcement system, that is has a learning system, and that have a machine learning all algorithms and all this. They process this information, they convert into data into a very meaningful information, and then provide you this information. So that is basically the deep learning, the machine learning, and other tools which are basically processing that information in a very valuable, in a very strategic and very actionable information.
Okay, let's go to Emmanuel. Go ahead and activate your microphone, and then we'll come to Ismail.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Lambert, for the opportunity to talk. Excellent presentation so far. My comment will rather be that the presenter should have brought cases of people who have done investment with the organizations that are working on these stuffs and what were some of their experiences so that other listeners will be better encouraged to make investment in such opportunities that AI happens to offer. That would have given a more credence and lent weight to some of these presentations. So, by my judgment, it was an excellent delivery. I wouldn't mind to have some of these documents and read over and have personal contact with the presenter. Thank you so much, Dr. Lambert.
Thank you, Manuel, for your comment there. Yeah, it's always good to have case studies and case examples. That is true.
Yeah.
Ismail, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I have another question, sir. This is the question. What are the long-term economic implications of using investment opportunity reports to attract investments in extractive against regeneration and regenerative sectors.
Okay. One thing we need to make sure, investment reports, investment opportunity reports, or future direction reports are always very important, right? They provide you an information, basically. They provide you an idea of future investing. But what I want to say is basically the reports are important, but only the reliable reports. The report from an esteemed or prestigious organizations, they have an expertise in investment. They have an expertise in forecasting and prediction, where research and development is there, we're continuously involved in economical development, technological advancements, and so on. If that is the case, that investment report is perfect. But let's say if I'm relying on an investment report which is not up to standard, which is not up to mark, not been come up with in professional way, so obviously that is not that worthy. So obviously what matters in terms of these investment reports, the reliability of the report, the reliability of the content, the reliability of the whatever the all the different themes or whatever, which can be the possible areas, the future trend or whatever. But the important thing is that how reliable is this investment report? And if the report is reliable, obviously that is adding a certain value to an individual, to an investment, to an organization, to business, to the government, and so on. So reports are obviously, these reports are very important in terms of investing, in terms of uh, actually you, me, and other people, they cannot come up with all the analysis, so we rely on experts. Okay, but the thing is, whenever we say that somebody is expert, that really means an expert. Okay, and if
Yes.
that is these reports are well managed, well presented, well researched and presented, obviously they are really beneficial to follow.
Yeah.